Business teacher, Mr. Gibbs.
I don't live to make money. My purpose on this planet is to make it a better place when I leave than it was when I arrived. I want people to reflect on our interactions and feel that our time together helped them in some way.
Here we are once again. I Stand on That Podcast, season 5. Listen, episode 1,005,252.
It's 90, y'all. It's 90. episode 90. It's 90, y'all. Just
listen, we are here, and listen, we're here on Super Bowl Sunday, and there's not many things that I would say trump Super Bowl Sunday, right? But only my man, Albert Linton Gibbs, can say Super Bowl Sunday, take a back seat, my guy, because what we're going to do today is talk about legacy.
Yeah.
Right? And for those of you that don't know, for those of you that are have been living under a rock, right? An icon, a legend, right? Albert Gibbs, good friend of ours, great friend, brother to South Florida Sid. We got joining as a guest host today because what we want to do is continue to honor this man's legacy, right? And continue to honor exactly what he just told you in the video, which was he did exactly what he wanted to do in 41 years, right? He said, I want to leave the world a better place than when I found it. He did that. There was so much more work that he could have done. And that's what I think a lot of us are just missing. But at the same time, I'm proud to say that a friend of mine, somebody who was younger than me, taught me so much about getting things done because time is going to wait for nobody. And his 41 years, he got it done, right? And so that's this episode is about celebrating his accomplishments, but it's also begging us to ask the question of all of us, right? Which is, what is your legacy going to be when this is all said and done, right? When it's all said and done, what will your legacy be? What are they going to say about you? Listen, I'm gonna shoot it, and listen, I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves. But South Florida Sid, listen, I'm gonna be honest, dude. Listen, you got up there on that stage and you was clean, and you delivered. So it was so clean and it was so good that I was like, dude, you got to do the show, right?
Yes.
And so, listen, I know you won't disappoint, but listen, so let's do this, right? At the end of the day, my name is Gary, GJH Writers Cramp, whatever it is you want to call me, published author, business professional. At the end of the day, just a man trying to do something good with his life, right? I'm gonna shoot it over. Obviously, we got Simo over here. We got the Simo hat rocking guy over here. What's up? Introduce yourself.
My name is Government Anthony Lumpkin. Social handles Mr. Daily Insight. Also, I stand on that podcast. Entrepreneur. They say, Gary, you say I got more jobs than a Jamaican. That's me. You know what I mean? So I'm just a definition of a 305 hustler, just trying to get $1 at the end of the day and help the people, man. So that's me, Mr. Daily Insight.
South Florida Sid, give it to him, baby.
It's me, man. Jason Tillman, a loyal follower, listener of the podcast, man. My nickname is South Florida Sid on the podcast, and I'm happy to be here, man. Thank you for letting me host and kind of hang out with you guys for today. I appreciate it. As you can see, man, I'm at a Super Bowl. We're getting the Super Bowl party ready. Shout out to my man Aaron back there doing big things, man. Hold on, I'm gonna show you guys. We got the projector going, man. So he
woo!
Oh yeah.
Y'all big time.
Yeah.
Y'all big time at all. Okay.
Yeah, man. We're doing it today, man. And we're happy to be here. Thank you for having me on the show.
I'm a little jelly though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little jelly. hey, Mr. Gary, you a little jelly back there. He got the projector. He got the facts.
Yeah, Aaron did it.
And he poolside too. He poolside with it too.
That's the crazy part, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold you. I got the projector. I just don't have no friends. So I'm just by myself.
Yeah, man.
That's it. So,
but listen, so I want to start with this, right? Let's just start with something that's just very light and fluffy, right? Dude, Jay, you got 1 million of them,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Jay, you got 1 million of them. So here's what I just want you to do. Give me your best, safe to share on the internet, Albert Gibbs story, right? Give me one. Give me one. And it might be just telling everybody about Triple Threat. Because I don't know everybody knows what Triple Threat is.
And hold on, not to cut you guys off, and I just put it in the chat. If you guys have a story, a poem, a rap, whatever it is may be, if you want to join us on this conversation, you have to make sure your internet connection is 100%. I'm going to verify that. And also you have to be in a quiet place, and we can actually join. The link is in the chat section for sure. I'll keep putting it in the chat to make sure if you guys want to join and this actual conversation. So go ahead.
What up, Carl? I see you, man. Thank you for joining, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, I guess I'll just start off with how we became cool. I mean, it was in the 9th grade, and I saw him. We ran to each other at the Puff Daddy and the Family concert back in '98. This is when people don't know, this is when Puff Daddy was the man, right? When No Way Out. Yeah, man. When Puff Daddy was the man, he had that big concert and at the Miami Arena. And I was like, "What up, Joe? I see you, man. What's going on?" So I dapped him up. I'm like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?" He's like, "Hey, what up?" Because we knew we had seen each other from the magnet program at Deerfield. So after that, I saw him like a week later at a Miami Hurricane basketball game. I'm like, Miami was playing Duke. I'm like, "Dude, you on the scene." So we dapped each other up again. What's going on? So when we got back to school, we were like, "Man, we got a link." Because, man, every time I look up, I'm seeing you out and about like me, So that's really how we met each other. And this was back in '98, man. We've been best friends and brothers ever since, And, man, what an experience. What a great 26 years it's been. And, it wasn't long enough. But we're not gonna make this a sad one. We're definitely gonna tell some funny stories. G-rated, some definitely funny G-rated stories. Like the story I told.
Somebody mama on here, man. Somebody mama on here.
Yeah,
Don't
man.
do it.
Yeah, man. Hey, what up, T? I see you over there. That's actually Albert's sister in the chat.
Shout out Miss Gibbs, FAMU law alum. Shout out.
Yeah, we're gonna get it at FAMU one way or the other. I told her, I was like, we're gonna get it at FAMU one way or the other, man. She'll LOL in a minute, probably. But the story I told about the AG Leadership Academy was true. I thought he was crazy. I thought it was nuts when he came to me and said he was gonna start a leadership academy. We always talk about we wanted to own a club or a cigar bar or something.
Right.
And when he called me, he's just like, "Yeah, I think I want to pivot and do some mentoring." I'm like, "Mentor? What are you talking about mentoring? Come on, man! Like, what And he's like, "No, I think it'll be cool." And I was as pessimistic as anyone could possibly be. What up, Twan? I see you, man. That's my college roommate. So, man, to see what the Leadership Academy has grown to and to see what it is now, if you had told me back then that it would be what it is now, I would have never believed you. And at the end of the day, I'm just happy to have been a part of it. It was his dream. It was his baby. And man, he really did his thing. And we're gonna keep it going no matter what. As long as I'm around, we'll still keep it going, man. Definitely.
Absolutely. And listen, for those of you guys that don't know, Albert was actually our last live interview, right?
Yeah.
And listen, he shared a lot of ideas with us about how he planned on continuing to expand and grow the Leadership Academy. And so one thing that I want to make sure that the people understand is that I stand on that, will always stand with the AG Leadership Academy, because we understand the value of what that's bringing to the community, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, for those of you that didn't participate, the memorial service was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Thanks to South Florida Sid and to the family, everybody that contributed. Shout out to Boone. They had days worth of activities, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
of course, in true Albert Gibbs fashion, they finished it off with a clean up the community day,
Yeah.
right? So, Jay, can you tell us
Yeah.
about the clean up the community day? How did
It
that
was
go?
awesome, man. It was awesome, man. We it was on Martin Luther King Day, and we had a great crowd come out, man, and show him love. You know what's funny? I had no idea that the Sis Trunk library or whatever that was. I walked in there like, yo, this is nice. I mean, state of the art gym. I mean, shout out to Fort Lauderdale for really putting and investing money in that, and shout out to them for always, welcoming the AG Leadership Academy with open arms, and it was fun, man. We were out there. We cleaned up like 5 or 6 streets in the Fort Lauderdale area, and then we all went to Smitty's, ate some chicken wings, man, enjoyed each other's time. I think by that time we were all so tired that we kind of around 2-3 o'clock, everybody was like, okay, look, man, let's call it a day, because we had been going 4 days straight. I mean, it was exhausting, but it was fun though. It was literally Thursday. It started Thursday and it didn't end on Monday.
And listen, don't hold it against me. I hope nobody held it against me, dude. I tapped out after day 3, right? I wasn't there for cleanup day, and I feel bad for that. I did have to get myself together to go to work, and so coming from Miami, coming from South Florida, there was just a few things I had to kind of get in line. But I wish I was there. I was definitely there in spirit.
Yeah,
and
it's all good, man.
Hey, we have a Antonio Clark. Anybody know who that is?
Antoine. That's Antoine.
Antoine.
Yeah, man.
Okay, he hiding his face. I'm in the chat with him. But whenever he's ready, he can show his face and we can bring him on. Looks like he got something to say too.
Tell him I said what up. That's my college roommate. Gary met him at the.
Hold on. I think he's ready, y'all. I think he's ready.
Oh, there go Antoine. Okay.
All right.
Twan, what up?
What's up?
What's going on, my brother?
I'm going to a quiet place. I didn't know I was gonna be on live. I just came to a different link.
What's happening?
My daughters were telling me that I was thinking it was actually a Zoom call, not a podcast. So they were making fun of me, saying why I thought I was just trying to mute myself and listen in, but definitely enjoy listening to the stories right now. So I'll let you get back to it.
No, tell us the story, man. Tell us how did you meet Bert?
Man,
how you met him? I had him in a fam, right?
So PG story.
Yeah.
I got the wife and both daughters here with me, so I'll keep it PG. Yeah, first time I met Berto was at FAM. He came up homecoming our freshman year.
Yeah.
And Jay and I couldn't be two different people. So I'm the reserved person. He out in the streets, and but Berto's my speed. Berto was is and was he's a thinker, cerebral man. Always kind of just observing things before actually stepping foot into it. And I guess that's why him and Jay were so good together, because me and Jay are kind of the same way as well. So, but first time I met him, just kicking it, chopping it up with him. I think we played spades the first night till 2-3 o'clock in the morning. You know how that goes in the dorm room. And then just hanging out, kicking it with him the rest of the weekend, chopping it up. But always one of the things that I would say about Bert, man, he was the type of person to always put the home team on, right? No matter what it was, whether it was, something career-wise, whether it was something female-wise. Berto tried to throw me so many different lobs. Whether I caught him and dunked him or not was a different story.
He is the assist leader.
But he always wanted to see the hometown team do well.
Yeah.
And you don't find too many genuine people like that. Everyone in a culture of just me. Yeah. Bert was in the culture of serving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's just what made him so special, dude. And the last time I saw him, and I'll wrap it up on this one. But
it's my birthday, right? My birthday.
Yeah. So was Jay's birthday. My wife and I flew down real quick, just for the weekend, in and out. And Bert had never met my wife. So this was the first time meeting my wife, and Bert, picked us up from the airport. Just was real hospitable to my wife, just making sure the little things that she wanted, he was able to make sure and get for her. Just the first time meeting somebody, he went up and above, his means to do
And
it.
he was the designated driver that night.
He was designated driver. Next day, got us in to the game. We actually didn't have tickets to the game. He got us into the game, suite level. I mean, just, on and on and on. And this is the first time he had ever met my wife. So, just a genuine, down heart, good loving person.
Yeah, man.
And he will be missed.
Yeah,
but
man.
like you said, the legacy will live on through the AG Academy and other platforms, through his daughter, his beautiful daughter. But
in his father's wine, I gotta make sure when you guys come down, make sure to get you guys some wine, man. We're pushing Gibbs Reserve wine. I think Tracy would really like it, so I'll make sure she gets some. Definitely.
She'll taste it. She'll try it out.
South Florida said, "You got to have to shoot me the link. I need some more of that, man."
You did buy some.
My bottle's about halfway empty. I got 3 bottles. I bought 3 bottles.
Yeah, please
I got one left.
Man.
It's halfway gone.
Definitely plug it, man.
Listen,
hey, Twan, man, I know you're doing your thing, man. I don't want to take too much of your time. Thank you for jumping on, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I'm a hop off and I'll join in the other chat.
Hey, Antoine, before you go, what I would like to ask everybody before they hop off is, in just true fashion, right, and just honoring Albert, right? Give everybody one piece of advice about making sure that they leave a legacy and a positive legacy, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, just give us that before you go.
Yeah, I think one of the things, man, just being able to find something that you have true passion for, and then live out that passion. One of his true passions outside of his daughter was the AG Leadership Academy, and then just seeing it from where it started to where it's at right now. I think everyone should have some type of passion that they have, and then that drive to go after it and to make it succeed in the best possible way. And not everyone had the drive that Bert had, right? But we all, as a people, as a community, need to come together and just try and find something that you truly have a passion for, and then just chase that passion down and live it out to the best of your abilities. And that's what he did.
Yeah, man. Love it. Love it, man.
Thank you for that, Antoine.
All right, bro.
All right, my brother.
I'll
be tapping in with you, man.
All right.
Take it easy, man. But no, he's right. He's I see you. I see. Hey, tell him. Well, let's do a quick plug on the Gibbs Reserve wine, man. Give us your thoughts. Tell the folks, tell the people.
Hey, wait. Time out. G-Man. Before you got on here, South Florida Sid was telling me about it. He said, "Oh yeah, Gary, man, Gary grabbed a whole bunch of them. When next time you go to Gary's house, you got to." I said, "Bro, I've been over the past 2 times in the last month, and you failed to, you know what I mean? Give me a taste of the wine. Son. What happened? Man, tell the people why I haven't experienced that yet, sir.
That's not true. I asked you if you wanted to drink. You told me no.
No. Well, you know what?
You gotta try it, man.
Okay." Well, now you should have said, you know what, you got to try this. This is from the Albert tree. His dad and all. You should have gave me a rundown. Say, hey man, it's something new. You got to try it. You didn't give me that one.
But you know what? But you know what? I learned a long time ago that I can't put jumper cables on Mr. Daily Insight. Right. So if I ask you and you say no, I typically just respect the answer, brother.
All right.
He knows now. He knows now.
That would have been the thing. I said, you know what? Let me try that.
You won't run out of stock at the Harrington crib, brother. I can tell you that.
Well, give us your thoughts on the wine. Give us your thoughts. Give us your open, honest thoughts.
Oh, listen. So of course, he labels all of them, right? And I think I had like numbers 1 through 6.
Okay.
I had like numbers 1 through 6. Dude, when I tell you that is like if I want to drink, that's the drink of choice right now.
Oh, hell, hold on, real quick. Pause that. Mr. Gibbs is actually is watching, so give a shout out to Mr. Gibbs, man. And
give a big shout out to the senior, right? To the originator, right? He's the original seed that produced something so awesome. So when I tell you that I've tasted 1 through 6, and like I've had first of all, the white and the red. Like it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what you're talking about. It's a great drink.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that it's like you can sip on that, and you're gonna feel a bunch of relaxation, but you're not gonna go crazy. It's a good balanced drink that you can drink on any day of the week, and it's enjoyable, man. And I would tell you, like, at this point in time, I'm just trying to figure out how do I get more.
Hey, look, you heard that, Mr. Gibbs?
If Mr. Gibbs is in here, I need to know how to get more.
Hold on, Elder A says, how do we purchase the wine? That's what I'm on. How do we get it?
So that's the question. Listen, I'm gonna let Jason answer that one, or I'm gonna let somebody in the chat answer that one. But I do know that there's a little bit of it's still a process by which I think they're going about being able to sell it, wide mainstream, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Exactly. I think there's certain processes, and listen, I'm not going to try to get into the science of it, but okay. What I would tell you is I didn't buy it. I gave a hefty donation to be a sampler. So let me start with that. So if you want to be a sampler, you're gonna have to get plugged in with somebody closer to the family so that we can go ahead and make that happen.
Any of you guys that are watching, put where we can purchase that in the chat. So I'm a wine drinker, connoisseur.
Well, I'm gonna be up there in May for baby girl's graduation party. So I'll bring some with me, man. I'll bring some with me.
All right,
I got you. I'll take care of you. But
and listen, when he says baby girl, I want to take a moment to be a proud father and say that Jada Jatia Harrington, one of the twins, Jaden Harrington, who's still doing his thing, but Jada's graduating May 8th from Valdosta State University.
Nice.
Listen, at the end of the day, as a black man, I feel like I've never felt like I did it until my daughter told me, Dad, I graduate this semester. Right. And then of course the question right after that was, are you going to pay all my fees, like my graduation fees, my cap and gown fee, my photo fees? But that's the happiest money me and my wife are ever going to spend. I can tell you that right now.
Nice.
Hey, good stuff. Okay, Miss Tia said we are in a pre-sale and working on it right now for family and friends. We can have you test, and you can give us that donation, that hefty donation, as Mr. Gary has. So, all right, sound like a plan.
And Tia, I'm putting it out there that I want mine right. Like I just want to put some on reserve. I don't care what I got to do to ship it, mail it. If I got to come get it, I'll go to Atlanta. Just tell me where I got to go. That's one of those. I can get there by railway, whatever. However I got to do, I'm gonna get there. So I'm definitely on board with that. So. Big shout out to the Gibbs Reserve. If you get a chance to support it, please make sure you do so.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me, when was the first time you met Bert, Gary? I think it was through Ray, right?
It was at Ray. It was Ray Jr. had, and I say Ray Jr. That is a grown man. Ray Ray Shelton Jr. Right, listen, he's family, so I'm just used to calling him Ray Jr. Shout out to Uncle Ray too, because Uncle Ray was there supporting all of us at the funeral as well. But listen, I was at So let me start with this. I was in the early stages of building a relationship with my wife Tia, who is Ray Jr.'s older cousin, right? And she was like, "Yeah, my little cousin's graduating from high school. You should come with me to the graduation party." It was at like a park. I don't remember what park it was at, but it was a graduation party, and that's where I met you. I met you and Albert at that party for the first time.
Yeah.
You and I ended up connecting on a deeper level once you left FAM.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Once you graduated from FAM and you moved back to South Florida, that was when me and you really hit it off. And it was similar with Albert, right? I met him at the graduation party for Ray Jr. But then it was like the book came out and all of this other stuff was going on. And it was just like, that was where Albert and I kind of connected differently because we were both writers, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It was like Albert was a published poet, right? And I was just on the scene doing spoken word, and I was talking about doing my novel. And Albert is the one that kind of helped really push me and T to like really do the novel once we got to a point where we were like, okay, we're going to do this novel. Listen, that's one thing I will say about Albert, and it's a common thread I keep hearing with everybody that talks, which is he just pushed to do what is out there for you to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like, he was a huge supporter of anybody that could do anything, do it, and do it to the best of your ability. And that's all you can ever ask for, right? And he was huge when it came to encouraging people to just push forward. Right now, I'm literally, a lot of you heard of Four Seasons. When I go on, when I take my video off, you'll see the Four Seasons novel picture. Albert was listen. It started after my brother passed, right? And Albert was like, "You got to finish it, right?" And he pushed me to just finish it. And I'm mad that he's not going to be here to see the release, but I'm blessed to know that he gave me the juice I needed to keep going when I thought I was stuck.
Yeah. Nice.
Right. And I see Courtney say he's a connector. He's a connector. He's a maven. He's like everything that you could ask for. He's a total embodiment. Right. And, that is something that I will always say, listen, I will never forget Albert and his contribution to just sometimes my mental health. Right.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you that me and Albert had a lot of late night phone calls about Mr. Jason Tillman. listen, me, Albert, and Ray would have secret meetings to figure out, okay, who's gonna keep Jason in control tonight. Jason is that dude. He's that guy that's gonna have a good time. Jason is the drinks on me for everybody at the bar guy. Right? And so, that's another reason why we all kind of connected. So I heard Antoine talk about the personality difference, right? Mm-hmm. And how, opposites kind of really meet in the middle and they create balance for each other. The thing about Albert is, dude, that guy he could go in any gear you needed him to be in.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That was the coolest part. Like, he was. So
you saying he was a chameleon?
Listen, he could blend in for sure, right? But it wasn't a blend though, right? Because if he stepped in the room, you knew he was there. It wasn't no hiding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just that he belonged in every room he decided to go into.
Yeah.
And not everybody can say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I think, hopefully we can, now that we're getting more people on live and in the stream and stuff, we can run the video back just in case some people didn't get a chance to see the video. But man, even me, sometimes I'm looking at these videos. I'm like, man, this guy, I just can't believe that's Bert. I mean, he's especially with how far he had taken the Leadership Academy, and I mean, he was doing like weekly or monthly workshops with kids, teaching them about financial literacy, which in our community, I mean, being financially literate in our community is something we all need, and a lot of times it's starting young. It's starting these kids at a very, very young age, making them understand credit and how not to spend money and spend money as soon as you make it, So, I would be sitting in a lot of these workshops. And I'm just like, man, just, and even the scholarships we'd be giving away at our whole high school at Deerfield, something just as small as that, or something as big as providing community service to kids who might need it. The cleanups, he has his own street. You know what I mean? In Fort Lauderdale.
Really?
Yeah. He's got his own,
wow.
And, so just so many things that, it's funny because in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, man, how are we possibly going to keep up with what he did from the standpoint of, he was just doing so much. And it's just like, man, it's a lot of pressure, I think, on all of us to try our best to at least, try to do something on a monthly basis, right? I mean, every time you looked up, Bert was sending you a link. Hey, man, AG Leadership Academy, we're going to this community service event, or hey, we're going to be doing this at the school, we're doing that. So I think that's probably, if somebody were to ask me, what's the biggest challenge, I think that's the biggest challenge, is trying our best to kind of keep up his legacy, because everybody's going to be looking to see, okay, can it keep going? Is it going to keep going?
Correct. Yeah. Well, we have Elda. Elda just joined us.
What up, Elda? What's happening?
So I'm gonna let me connect her in. Hold on one second. Hey, Elda.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, what's up, Elda? What's going on?
It's Sunday.
Yes. Sunday.
All right. So you have something to share, something, story, how you met Albert, and what he has meant to you as an individual.
Right. Okay. So Albert and I, like Jay said, we were at the magnet program at Deerfield Beach High School. So I met him the first day of 9th grade, but we rode the bus and it was a 45-minute drive. So everybody's asleep, right? 45 minutes. We hopped on the bus at like 6 something in the morning. So you didn't know who was who until we got to school. And so with that, we were in some of the same like magnet classes and just kind of had the same schedule. And he mentioned this at I had a 40th birthday, and he said this in the video, but he always said I didn't like him at first. And he said that was the two things he would always say. I didn't like him at first, and then I always would hate on him. So I would say, like, Albert, I did like you as a person, and I also did hate on you, but he knew why I was hating on him, whatever, Albert being Albert. But we just, in terms of a lot of my friendships, our lives were so parallel. Like, he went to University of South Florida. I went to University of Florida. So he would come up to Gainesville. I stopped by USF. And then at some point, we both were on the West Coast. And so, like, I lived in Seattle. He was in the Bay Area. Yeah. So we would like go visit each other because, when you're away from home and so many miles, it's always good to have like a comforting friend and someone that you can go visit when you're away from family. And so when he moved back to the East Coast, at some point, I moved back to the East Coast. And of course, he's like, oh, so you're trying to be like me? And I'm like, no, I'm not. But our lives were just so parallel and just always supportive in every season, and I just appreciated him. And I was thinking in terms of, like Jason said, the AG Leadership Academy and all his work, being able to watch friends just pour themselves into an endeavor. It was just so admirable. So I personally was like, hey, how can I help? What can I do? I definitely want to like assist just because I've been sitting in the background. So how can I help? And so he was like, let me think about that. And then a couple of months later, he was like, you know what? I'm going to make you like the executive director. And at first I was just like, oh, okay. So he's telling me all the stuff that I'm going to be doing. And I was just like, wow, one, it was very much just an honor for him to kind of see me in that space, to work hand in hand with him in that role. But two, like, he didn't really ask me. He was just like, this is what you're going to do. And I appreciated that about him because there were many times throughout our friendship where I was just like, hey, I need you to do this. So it was always like, I can boss you around and you don't mind, and vice versa. So I appreciated that. And just working with him in the last year, sometimes he'd be the boss, sometimes I'd be the boss, depending on the day. But it was very much a good working relationship. And it was just also an extension of the friendship that we had all those years, because literally, sometimes it'd be text like, I need you to hop on the phone. We're going to be talking to this person. And I'm like, okay, sure, boss. This is what we're going to do. And it was just great. And the work, like Jason said, it's not going to stop, because the goal, especially in bringing me on, was to really elevate and expand the work that was already being done. So he had lots of great plans for the Academy. So definitely just blessed and honored to be able to join him in.
We lost her because I wanted her to plug.
Hold on. Okay. She's back. Hold on.
She's back. Okay.
I'm back.
I want to answer the question that was had about if people want to donate, they want to give money and things of that nature. Do we want them to hold off on that yet for right now until we kind of?
The best way to donate is really go straight to the Academy. There's a donate button on the website, and you'll get a receipt of your donation. So that's really the best way to donate in the next couple of months. And there's also a volunteer form. So if you're interested in being a volunteer and working with the Academy, there's that opportunity to do that. And we'll try to plug volunteers in the best ways that we can. But, some of the work that we've done continually will be there, such as Jason mentioned, the MLK Day of Service. We did that. In August, we're going to participate in an annual back to school drive. So we'll send that date. It'll probably be the weekend right before school starts. So we're waiting for the school calendar to be distributed. But typically we're giving out school supplies to kids, haircuts. And so not only volunteers, but if you have a local business, right? Like last year we had 4 barbers, and these little boys, these young men need their haircuts. They want to go to school, and confidence plays a big part in it. Albert's Uncle Ken was there for hours. And I mean, the barbers, we had asked them to stay for so much time, but they stayed even after that time to make sure everyone in line was able to get their haircuts and being able to raffle off laptops for some of the kids. So that will continue. And then also we have our scholarship that we provide every year to deserving high school students. And so with that and them embarking on their college journey, we provide them laptops as well. So those are things that, unfortunately have some
you guys
kind
are
of
doing it.
contribution, monetary link. So we do hope that if individuals aren't like in the South Florida area or aren't able to do that, be able to plug in by giving financially or physically, right? Like sometimes we need folks to be there to be able to distribute some of those things. And one last thing, we just expanded the reach and expanded the work, and we gave scholarships in Hillsborough County last year. So we still want to do that to be able to give it to a young man in that county. Albert went to school at USF and was very much connected in that county. So we'd want to be able to just continue the work. And I mean, the world's our oyster. Just because he's not physically here, like he's basically has tapped us all on the shoulder and asked us what are we going to do and how we're going to do the work.
Exactly. Do your part.
You know, it doesn't have to be like Albert, because I was like, you have like 8 jobs right now. Like I do not know where you find the energy, where you're finding the jobs to be connected in all these places. So we don't have to be little Alberts, but if we take a little part of Albert and just do what we can do, we'll still make the impact and make the difference.
And one thing I want to give Elder props for is, you know, people don't really know how involved and how much she helped with the, you know, memorial service for Albert, helping the family out. I mean, just really stepped up and was a champ for them, definitely. You know, I remember when after he had passed, I wasn't talking to anybody. I wasn't answering my phone. I don't want to talk to anybody. I basically went, you know, dark for about 48 hours, you know. And Elder hit me up like Jason. Okay, it's time for you to get out. You can't stay on the sidelines forever. I need your help. I need you off the sidelines. I'm like, okay, Elder, I'm ready now. You know, so you know, she was extremely instrumental in all that, man. And she's definitely a soldier. I look forward to definitely working with her because we're gonna need her. I mean, you know, she's very organized and definitely proud of her. Of having her a part of the academy, definitely.
Right.
Now, one thing, what's the website again? What's the website?
agleadershipacademy.org.
All right, guys, I just plugged that in the chat. So if you guys want to donate, volunteer, anything is in the chat. You guys feel free to, you know, do your part as I just mentioned. So.
Right. And we have a whole board of directors who are doing a lot of things in the background. So just because you don't physically see them, trust me, they're doing as much work as I am. So it's a labor of love, and we're all here just to work collaboratively to continue the goal and the vision. So thank you all in advance for your support. I'm looking forward to seeing all these new registrants in terms of volunteers with the academy.
Elder, I gotta. So I have a quick statement, which is I want everybody to see the QR code in the corner. If you scan that, it'll take you to the agleadershipacademy.org. Okay, so let's keep it simple for everybody, because I know for some of us, if we make it too hard, they don't want to do it. So, no excuses. You got a cell phone, scan the QR code. Secondly, I gotta ask you, because I didn't get a chance to ask you, and it wasn't even the right time, but I see it now, and it's just glaring. I see pretty. I see green. I see pink.
all the things, right? All the things.
So shout out, you know, Feisky, first of all. You know what I mean? You know, listen, Albert got most things right, but I think he got that one a little bit wrong. But that's okay. He got most things right. But you know, me and him used to have our conversations about that Kappa Alpha thing, right? So Elder, here's what we are asking everybody that does come on, right? And we asked Antoine earlier. Jason gave us some stuff. So it's in true Albert Gibbs fashion. If you had to leave us with one thing, and you're a D9, so you know legacy is everything, right? What is the one thing that you would like to share that's coming from Elder, right? Right. That just says, hey, this is what this is the legacy comment, right? What do you want to share with the people about just making sure that your legacy is established now? Because you never know what tomorrow holds.
Right. I think when people think legacy, they think like, I have to have like all this money and all these resources. And the biggest thing that you have to like realize that it's just basically the passion, because that's where it starts. And if I'm going to, because we're talking about Albert, liking it to him, he started it with a commission check, right? He started the AG Leadership Academy with a commission check and the vision of one person. But through the passion, it's grown into something so much bigger. So find your area, right? Because we all have our area, whatever it is, and to be able to think outside of just us and our own selfishness and how we can just make it a little bit bigger. So if you're connected to the church, or if you're connected to whatever organization, if you're connected to a school, whatever you're doing in the community, find something that you can like link to, because they always say if you find something you're passionate about, it'll never feel like work. And that's how you had a man like Albert, like I said earlier, it felt like he had 10 jobs because it didn't feel like work. And he showed up every single day. Like even we were at the last back to school drive, Jason was there, and during the drive, like a few times I was just like, are you good? Like, did you eat? And literally went the whole day, didn't eat. I think he grabbed some water, some chips, and just really tried to make sure everyone was fine. And that's just very much resonating of who he is. And so for all of us, like, it doesn't have to be an academy, but what are you going to do outside of yourself that really gives back to others or someone else?
Absolutely. And Elder, I got one more question. I'm up here in Orlando.
Yeah.
One thing I realized at the memorial service and at the picnic and everything else that we did, there was a lot of people that were connected to Albert in Central Florida and other areas. You just talked about the expansion of Hillsborough County. Are you guys looking for volunteers that may be out of the city? And even if it's in a city that you guys have not branched into, if you find enough volunteers, is that something where you're like, hey, maybe we do need to do something in Orlando? We got 20 people willing to do some work. So I guess what I wanted to say is, for me, when I'm listening, a lot of times you feel like if you're not in the city, right? If I'm not in South Florida somewhere, maybe my services can't be used. So I don't fill out the form. Are you guys looking for people outside of those areas to fill out that form just so you guys can track that and possibly expand even more? Or just let us know where you are, because I want to go fill out the form right now, but I'm in Orlando. Should I do it?
And that's a great question, because I actually live in Washington, D.C., so I am not in the South Florida area at all. And that's where it's just more so of, you don't necessarily have to be in the local area to make a difference. And so I do believe some people visit Florida. So think about it. If we're doing a back to school drive, today is what, January 11th. So I told you it's, in August, right before the school started, and we'll put out that date. So if you're doing a family vacation, not only bring yourself, bring the kids too, to like do the back to school drive with us, right? And of course, it'd be beautiful to expand, and that's something the board will definitely continue to talk about. But I think getting our footing, if we're going to be honest, like, we had a very powerful, impactful founder and CEO. And so sometimes you don't want to necessarily go too fast in terms of growth and trying to figure out what's next. And so there are a lot of initiatives that are currently going on that we just need to make sure are in a good place before we decide to expand. Is expansion off the table? Absolutely not, because clearly, we went to Tampa last year. There were hopes to do something in California, and California is 3,000 miles away from the South Florida area. So the world in the future is just open to possibilities. But I think for now, let's focus on the work that we're doing, and being able to expand the work and looking at what we can do and how we can continue to build the relationships that we have.
So there you have it. No matter where you are, fill out the form, because we all know that eventually you're going to get to Miami, right?
Eventually, right?
You're going to get to Miami. There's no doubt that the 305 or the 954 or whatever it is you want to claim, you're going to eventually be in the area. So fill out the form and make yourself available when available. And that is sometimes just enough, right?
Yeah.
So
and as you mentioned, Orlando is a 45-minute drive to Hillsborough County to Tampa. So if we're doing something in Tampa, if you're like in the northern Central Florida area, drive on over so you don't have to drive 3 hours to South Florida. And that might be a just bit more better proximity to you and what you can do with your family. But we're definitely looking forward to working with everyone. I know that was a lot of the questions that we received during the memorial service and the picnic and afterwards. So we don't want anyone to think that we don't want the help and we don't need it, because we definitely do. But we definitely have to go back as a board of directors to just ensure that we're doing the right things and making the right decisions and vote collaboratively.
Cool. Thank you.
And so I'm going to leave it with this before Elder hops off. I want to just make sure I tell you to your face, right? You and Jason, I call him South Florida Sid. But one thing we want to make sure is that it's always very clear that we are forever friends and family with the AG Leadership Academy. And so, just like Albert was always welcome, Elder, you're always welcome.
Yeah.
Sid, you're always welcome. If there's things that we can promote, things that we can help get the word out for, please make sure you guys tap us on the shoulder and let us know, because we will be very happy to participate in any of these things that you guys are trying to do.
For sure.
It's what we need in this community right now.
All right, awesome. And before I hop off, shout out to the Gibbs family, because like Jason said, every step of the way it was just like, this is what we're doing and this is how we're going to honor him. So without them giving us the green light, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that we are able to do. So we definitely, and they built the foundation, right? Like someone just doesn't become who they are, be someone like Albert, without having the love and support of his family and his uncles and dad, mother, sisters. And so I appreciate them for sharing him with us. And so shout out to them for just also pushing us as friends, right? Like we're grieving, but they're grieving in a completely different way. And they're the ones who are like, yep, this is what we're doing. So for me, it's just like, okay, if his sister's saying this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. And same thing goes for Mr. Gibbs. So definitely are appreciative of them and all of their support and continued support.
I agree.
Agreed.
Thank you so much, Elder.
Thank you, Elder. We'll be in touch. See you later.
Yeah.
See you later.
I got a funny story, G, and actually Gary's tied to this story. And and I always used to rib Bert about this for years. I never let him live it down. And as soon as I start telling the story, Gary's gonna remember. So, when Albert he used to live in Pembroke Pines, and he knows where I'm going.
He got him.
He knows where I'm going with this story. So,
got him.
Bert, man, I used to come to his house unannounced, make myself at home, whatever. But he was living with his girlfriend at the time, and I went over there. It was after a Miami Hurricane game, and we had just won. So I'm hype, I'm super hype. And I bam on his door. I walk in. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? I'm walking to his refrigerator, opening the door, making my, grabbing a beer, looking to see what they're eating in there, And so his girlfriend was looking at me like, what are you doing? And I'm looking at her like, what do you mean what I'm doing? I sat down, kicked my feet up, grabbed the remote, So his girlfriend looks at Albert and is like, you not gonna, so Albert like, man, you gotta go. And I'm like, I'm laughing. I'm like, what are you talking about? I gotta go. No, you gotta go, man. You can't just be coming up in here unannounced, man. So I looked at him like, are you serious right now? You're kicking me out. Me. Man, you gotta respect my house, man. You can't be doing this kind of stuff. So I laughed. I'm like, all right, my bad. Put my beer down, walked out. Man, I was heated. I called Gary, and Gary was like, bro, I already got the phone call from Albert. I was like, can you believe this dude kicked me out of his house? Man, I never let him live that down. Years later, I'm like, you remember that time you kicked me out of your house, man? You should talk a little. No, I'm not gonna let you live that down. But,
Jeez Christ! And now I'm gonna go in. Everybody kind of gave stories and kind of what they thought of him. I've never knew Albert at all. Gary, we did our last interview was Mr. Albert, and the funny thing is, what I kind of seen on social media. I follow certain people, and I end up after our interview. I happen to see people like connecting. Somebody mentioned earlier, he's a connector. So he was at this thing talking about his vision for the kids and all these different types of things. I'm saying, man, this man connected to the DJ with 99 Jams down in Miami. He's with him doing certain things. So I'm kind of like, this is a powerful dude, and he had passion behind what the heck he was doing. You know what I mean? I'm saying, I don't know the guy, but I know as was mentioned earlier, he's a connector. He's passionate about what he loves that he wants them to see them thrive, in their setting. So that meant a lot. And the thing about it is he was doing something that I thought about doing, which is teaching financial literacy in the schools, because I know as a teacher down in Miami, Florida, they don't teach how do you balance a paycheck. How do you know what amount to spend on a credit card? What's your limit? 30%, 10%. Exactly. I wanted to do that. People say, hey, you should do it, but I never got it started. And to know that this guy was kind of doing that, I kind of could have been in the leadership or connecting with them. So, Mr. Gary Harrington, we gonna fight, Mr. Harrington. I should have been connected to this guy. You know what I mean? but the point is that the legacy still lives on. Just because he's gone doesn't mean everything stops. So that's the one thing I can say, that he was doing something that I kind of thought about doing, and I'm proud to even know that piece of it, and I can kind of give back by volunteering my time and doing my part.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Listen, and so I got a story just to demonstrate, right, Albert's heart, right, and this is what I mean, right. At the end of the day, as much as and when I tell my story about how I met Albert through the graduation party, and then we connected again. Hey, and listen, I see Courtney asking, how do we join the call? Hey,
I'll
can
put
you
the chat in?
That? Okay,
But hold on, I'll put it in the chat one more time.
But I remember, I cannot remember what it was. Listen, my wife has got to be the most frugal woman. And my wife would have you swear up and down, we don't have anything to eat. Like, if you spend $10, we're going to be broke for the rest of our lives, right? So I can't remember what it was that I was going down to South Florida for. I wanted to go so bad. And my wife was
Hold on, G-Man, 1 second. Let me, the actual link is in, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, I just posted the actual link. So once you get on, I'll be able to see you and we can chat real quick to make sure your connection, everything is right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, just click the link. Click the link, Courtney. So, so listen, I normally would call Sid and be like, dude, I need to stay with you, right? I don't know what happened that Jason was not available, right? And so I was like, man, let me call Albert, man. Dude, I called Albert, man, and Albert was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be there. But dude, I'll leave the key under the mat for you. Don't worry about it. Go in. It's your apartment for the weekend, dude. And, he was like, whatever you do, just listen, change the sheets if you need to, whatever you need to do. But just it's your house, man. Do your thing, right? And that to me is the embodiment, right? Because when I sit there and I talk about the heart of things, right? And one thing about my brother Ronald, when he passed, I kept telling everybody, man, it was his heart that made him different. You know what I mean? One thing about Albert that made him different was his heart. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I didn't think that Albert was gonna like just open his door for me, but I had never prior to that ever asked him for that. I'd never like demonstrated any sense of need or vulnerability because I was always trying to be the older, right? Like I was a little bit older than them, so it was like. And Albert is the youngest of the triple threat. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm the big brother. I'm the big cousin. I'm the big, no. And Albert was like, dude, you sound crazy, man. Listen, dude, go get the key. Go do what you got to do. Dude, he left me in his house for the weekend, and he called me every single day. Dude, you good? You need anything? Listen, if there's no groceries in there, let me know. I'll send some food to the house. I'm like, dude, I am good. You don't even need to do that.
I'm a grown man.
I'm a growing man. Grown suggests that we are done growing. So I'm a growing man. But no, listen, that's the type of conversation we were having, and that's just who he always was, right? And the funny thing is, so one time I had the chance to give it back to him because he was in Central Florida. He was leaving Tampa, and he was like, dude, I'm about to head to Orlando, man. Maybe you can meet us out at the club. And I was like, dude, you are not coming to Orlando after letting me stay in your house and not staying with me. Like, that's not going to be the case. So Albert came and he stayed at the house, man. And I had never, listen, Jason will tell you, I'm not the dude that goes to the club. Like, that's just not really my thing. Mr. Daily Insight, you know that as well. I'll go with you, but I'm not one to just go. That just ain't my thing. Albert had me in VIP. I'm surrounded by Kappas, and I'm like, oh my God. And when I tell you, it was just phenomenal, right? To just experience the love and the brotherhood that just came from just saying hello, right? Like at the end of the day, I don't attribute it to anything other than that's just who he was. That's just who he was at all times. And like I said, that was the only time I've ever been VIP at the beach. It's probably the only time I've ever been to the beach.
And the last time you've been at the
beach. And listen, I almost feel like the only reason why there was no gunfire or no fight that night was because Albert's energy was in the building. right?
Love it.
Because he brought peace everywhere he went, right? And so I would tell you, as a guy who was like, dude, every time I turn on the TV, somebody getting shot at the beach, and you want to go to the beach, right? And that's who I am. I'm that dude. I'll be like, dude, you serious? He was like, man, listen, let's go, man. Trust me, I got you. We good. Man, dude, I thought Albert was the king of Orlando in that moment. I was like, this guy got us in. We didn't even pay to get in the club. I was like, this guy. So, you know, when I tell you that if I didn't learn anything from Albert, right? One thing that I learned through Albert and through a lot of other people, but Albert was a major contributor, which is do what's good. Because if you do the right thing, good things come to you. Blessings will never stop flowing. And you know, I had an old football coach that used to say, "Listen, guys, we got to give back to the community because if the community don't give a damn about you until they know you give a damn about the community." And Albert was the embodiment of that being such a true statement. And so I would tell you, if you hear this, whether it's live or whether you're listening to the replay on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, do good because I guarantee you the blessing will continue to flow back to you.
That's right.
And there's no question about that. But I see we have Courtney here.
What up, Court?
All right, hold on.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Now let me know if I'm on.
What up, Court? What's happening?
I'm on.
Yep.
What's going on?
Oh, step back a little bit if you can.
Yeah,
because we can't. Okay.
You know, I call myself a techie. I'm ashamed of this moment. My
it's
apologies.
all good. Don't worry about it.
Well, go ahead.
But yeah, everybody. Courtney. I've known Bert since 6th grade. Great guy. You know, we rode every bus together, and he's just, you know, just like I said before in the chat. You know, he's a connector. You know, that's the type of person that he is. And you know, my story, you know, we all have lots of stories. Again, we're keeping this you know, for the live. But but overall I want to say that you know, he was always really big into music. And for me, you know, growing up prior to knowing him, you know, I was like, hey, listen, it's R&B, it's Hot 105 and 99 Jams. That's it. You know, all the rest of the music is trash. I don't care about anybody else. You know, I don't watch the Grammys. You know, that kind of deal. But Albert List, he again, being that his natural ability is to blend blend anywhere. You know, he'll still stand out, like you all were saying earlier. But you know, it didn't matter where he was or who he was with. He was very fluid. He would be able to get in and out in conversation. So he introduced me to bands like Coldplay. Like he's like, hey, have you listened to country? You know, all this kind of stuff. And while we were at Deerfield High in the CBA Magnet, there was that's when we first learned about, you know, podcasting and radio. You know, and I mean, it just, you know, to see, you know, how again, like how he was able to just to flow through and have different conversations, and he would tell you it's not about the genre, it's about the story. You know, and he was such a and he was always a writer. You know, ladies man galore, as we all know. Right? You know, again, this is alive. But the point of the matter is that he always had a great heart. You know, he always had a great heart, and he wants you to always think and to go deeper into conversations. Don't just be surface level. So we were talking about, you know, him giving back to the community with the financial literacy and entrepreneurship classes. That was where he partnered with the Crockett Foundation, which is where I work as the director of innovations. And you know, we, you know, just from a conversation like, yo, Bert, you know, trying, you know, I was looking for vendors for one summer. I was like, yo, I need people to come in here. I need some guest speakers, come talk to my kids. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh man, shit, you ain't got to worry about that. He came talking to my kids one time. And of course, you know, he's very engaging. So what he, you know, he gave them, he gave each one of the kids like one of them got a plastic cup, another one got a pen, another one got some hat, more than likely it was probably mommy he had, but some kind of hat, right? And he's like, okay, you got to sell that to me. So I need you to write down everything that you can see about this hat. What uses could you use for this hat and everything else? Again, this is the deepening of knowledge, the digging deeper, right? And when I tell you that these kids, I mean, it wasn't more than 12 at that time, but these kids were able, like, I felt like, man, shit, I want to buy a daggone hat. I want to buy the pen, like, but it was free, and from there, it went from just that one time of being a guest speaker to 6 years of him doing weekly classes with my kids, teaching about that. We did Shark Tanks with the kids, and he was always, and it wasn't just about, just showing up, weekly. He would bring in other people, his other friends, his co-workers, people that were in Toastmasters, anyone else to come in to help, share their knowledge as well. And also act as the Shark Tank judges, to give different perspectives. And so so for me, it was, when you talk about legacy, his whole thing is to always continue to be a lifelong learner, right? Be a lifelong learner and to look at things past surface level, and, I'm definitely going to miss that. And that was the biggest piece, like, because he gave so much light to our kids. We went from 12 to at least between 40 to 50 a year, and he was really great with that. So when we talk about legacy, like he really set the bar really high, really high for that.
Awesome, Court. Hey, man, you know, I met you through him, so the connection, like you said, connector. Been knowing you since Deerfield, and I didn't know you guys went way back to 6th grade. I didn't know that. So I forgot you did go to Parkway.
Yeah, the Coke bottle glasses.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna tell this one. I'm gonna tell this story. I'm gonna tell this story, right? Because I ain't the only one that can't see. But let me tell you this. So he's the reason why I never slept in contacts. I remember he was the first one out of the crew to start wearing contacts, right? And one day, like, I just saw him wearing his glasses again. Okay, all right, whatever. And then, like, he was telling us a story about why he had like a dot in his eye. It's because he slept in the contacts. And I don't want to say it was partial blindness because I don't want to sit there and tell those lies. But I just know that, it took a while for it to clear up or whatever. So I was like, man, shoot, I ain't never going to see with my contacts. Bert, he had to go back to his glasses, stuff like that. So, but yeah, he, all the way since 6th grade, man. We rode the same bus stop we got on and got off.
Nice.
Good people, man.
Good history.
Thank you, C, man. We'll be in contact. We know we're going to see you soon. Definitely.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm very rarely the guy that's lost for words, right? I listen. I tried to put something together, right, just in honor of Albert. And listen, I don't know if I did a good job or not, but it's something that I definitely want to share, kind of as we kind of move through this, right? So y'all bear with me for a minute, right? And once again, this is not in the spirit of loss. It's in the spirit of celebration. You know what I mean? But something that I wanted to share for this episode. So this is called Gained an Angel. They say we lost a friend, but we've gained an angel. I think I can speak for us all when I say it's admirable, but on several days it's unacceptable. Albert was more than a cliche. Albert was a brother, a son, a father, a friend, an icon, a legend, a mentor. But more importantly, Albert was a compass for the lost, a spiritual soul that was there for us all at all costs. Truthfully, Albert was the perfect lyric embedded in the perfect song. Something like, fuck them other niggas because I'm down for my nigga. Honestly, Albert is like the perfect description of the perfect scene. Let us remember, while there's so much more he could have accomplished in between, the dash is what I mean. Accept this word as a news flash. Unlike most, he accomplished his goal, and that thought should offer console. Albert left this world a better place than he found it, so stay grounded. Think of your moments shared and celebrated. Then ask yourself, what will your legacy be? And I leave you with John 14 and 27. God said, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. So I say all of that to just say, listen, guys.
Nice, man. Very nice.
We have choices to make. You know what I mean? Every day, I can't remember who said it. Every day we wake up with a choice and a chance, right? Make the best of your choices and make the best of your chances. You know, what I want to do, and listen, South Florida Sid has definitely urged us. We're going to go ahead and play that video, Mr. Daily Insight, if you can handle that. We're going to go ahead and we want to play the video that we played that led to this actual episode. And then we'll give our final remarks. And we just want to let everybody know that this is not the last time that we'll have these kinds of conversations. You know what I'm saying? But what we do want to leave you with on Super Bowl Sunday, it's 4:30. Y'all got about 2 hours before game time. So whatever you do, right, we're going to pregame and we're going to have a good time, but we're going to do it responsibly, right? One thing Albert always was big on was making sure that we made smart decisions that didn't lead us up in jail or something stupid because you had a little bit too much to drink, right? So we ain't doing that today, right? We're gonna honor Albert and his wise decision making, you know. And if you're gonna partake in a little cigar smoke or other smoke or drink,
vibrations,
do it safely, right? And at the end of the day, I always recommend.
Yes.
The shameless plug.
If you don't have that on your bar, something's going on. Something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
But listen, Mr. Daily Insight, man, can you please run that reel for us, brother?
I don't live to make money. My purpose on this planet is to make it a better place when I leave than it was when I arrived. I want people to reflect on our interactions and feel that our time together helped them in some way.
Awesome, man. Awesome. You know, I know this is final reflection, so I'll say,
Well, hold on. And I stand on that podcast fashion.
Yes.
What we gonna say? This is how we end.
Oh, okay.
In your reflection, I stand on, then you get your reflection. So go ahead.
I got you. Well, I'll say this. I stand on the fact that even though he's gone, he'll never be forgotten. Some days are harder than others. You might be listening to the radio, and hear a song or something like, man, I would have liked this song. There was a song that came on by October London, and his album is called Rebirth of Marvin Gaye. And it was a song that I think it was called
Rebirth of Marvin.
Yeah, Rebirth of Marvin. And as soon as they were playing a song on Hot 105, I'm like, man, this is all Albert right here. I gotta start listening to this guy. Because we would share music and stuff. And so it's days like that, that'll be hard and difficult. Days like his birthday, when this he basically, unfortunately didn't live to see his 41st birthday. But it was a great 40 years on this earth for him. And his daughter, we're all going to be here for his daughter as best as we can. And we're going to keep the AG Leadership Academy going. We're going to kick this wine off. We're going to make sure that keeps pushing. And we need everybody who's listening, either on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, even on this platform, to do the best you can to help us out, with any kind of support you can give. It doesn't always have to be money. It doesn't have to be time. Sometimes we want your money. We don't need your time. Just cut the check, But, right? And sometimes if you don't have the money, we can use your time. And sometimes if you don't have either, any kind of support, just a follow, AG Leadership Academy, put a like, whatever it is, we can use anything. And we all loved him. And, shout out to his father who's listening, his sister. We love you guys too. And we're going to keep his name going and keep his memory going no matter what.
All right, what I stand on, first and foremost, before I get into that, make sure you guys follow the page on all platforms. I stand on that podcast. We're on everything from Twitter, IG, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. We're there. Make sure y'all follow, and we will be promoting things for the Leadership Academy. If we're doing something, we'll go ahead and support it, or we'll support it and kind of advertise on these platform on this platform. So what I stand on is basically, like as I mentioned, I never knew him, but I know he left an impact. He left a mark, that dash that Mr. Harrington spoke about. So the thing is, guys, even though we may not have all the money, we may not have all the talents, right? But we can leave a legacy somehow, some way, some fashion. So whatever it is that you're passionate about, do it. Do that thing. And as it was mentioned, this is one of my favorite things to say. We should always be learning. The day that we die is the day we stop learning. So every day is the day to learn. You're never too old. You're never too young. Do your part and leave a mark. You understand? So that's all I have.
Oh man.
Man, listen, this is always the tough part, right? Because I'm as the mouth of the South, right? I got a million words and to try to condense
Just showing them up, sir. Don't.
It's hard, right?
I know it is, brother. I know it is.
So here's what I stand on this. I stand on being your best version of you every day, right? What I can tell you and what a lot of people don't know is that, we all have our struggles, right? I have my own, right? I've had some kidney issues, all kinds of stuff. At the end of the day, we got to wake up and choose to give the people that care about us the most the best version of ourselves, right? What I can tell you is this. Albert was the epitome of giving the best version of himself every single day. Didn't matter how he was feeling. It didn't matter what he was dealing with. It didn't matter what life was giving him. He was giving us his best every single day. And that's something that I personally struggle with, that I'm working on, right? I tell my wife all the time, sometimes I'm giving the best version of myself at work, and then when I come home, I'm too tired to give it to my family, and that's not fair, right? Sometimes, I think back to, and Albert and I had a conversation one time about the Nikki Giovanni, James Baldwin conversation, right? And Nikki Giovanni told James Baldwin, lie to me like you lie to everybody else. Right? If you lie to them because you don't want them to feel some type of way. So care enough about me to lie to me. Make me feel some type of way. Now, I'm not promoting lying, but what I am promoting is, dude, wake up every morning, give the best version of yourself to those that you come in contact with, because you don't know where somebody's at in life. You don't know what they're going through, and you can be the difference between them making a change in the world for the better, or them making a change in the world for the worse, right? And so I leave us with the same thing I leave every conversation now and moving forward, which is I wish everyone out there blessings. I wish you safety, right? And I wish you continued prosperity, and understand that even in those midnight moments when things don't seem like they can get any freaking darker, midnight only lasts 60 seconds. Because it's very soon after midnight, you got 12:01, you got 12:02, you got 12:03, and the sun continues to rise and it gets brighter and brighter. So don't ever get stuck in a moment, right? And always make sure that you're the key to the movement. Don't get stuck in the moment, be the key to the movement. And I think that if I could have said anything that I think Albert would be proud of, it would be that. And so I stand on that.
Nice. Well, on behalf of everybody here in this family, we want to thank you guys for doing this and taking giving us the opportunity to take up one of your episodes with this. And hey, man, I stand on that podcast. Go and support it, man. We're here definitely.
All right, we out, guys. Again, make sure to go follow. If you guys want to watch.
Hold on. Let me do this. Super Bowl prediction.
Super prediction.
The Super Bowl prediction. We're gonna start with Insight. We're gonna start with Mr. Daily Insight. Hold on. Mr. Daily Insight, give me your Super Bowl pick. Stand on that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
as much as I like to go against the Chiefs, I've been listening and watching And as a football head, as a football athlete, played football professionally as well myself. It's kind of hard to go against the soon-to-be GOAT, right? He's going to be up there in the talks. He's already broken a lot of records that Mr. Mahomes, not Mahomes, Tom Brady, and the best I've already done, Joe Montana. He's already there. But the only thing that he's missing is a few more Super Bowls. I thought the Ravens were going to get it done. The Ravens run a lot of zone defense. The 49ers run the best zone defense. So it was told that he shreds people up when it comes to zone defenses. So, and I don't think you can change your defense in 2 weeks to get ready for the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna go Chiefs, even though I'm an underdog guy. I'm an underdog all day long. You know what I mean? So I think the 49ers are the 49ers underdog.
No, Chiefs are the underdog. Chiefs are the underdog.
Not really. I think that's a fact. That's a trap. That's a big trap. But I'm gonna go Chiefs.
Vegas trap. Vegas trap.
Exactly. That's a big Vegas trap. I'm gonna go Chiefs 35, 49ers 20. Chiefs for the win.
Hey, I'll say I'm not going against Mahomes. I got Chiefs taking it 28-24.
Ooh, you got it pretty close there, South Florida said.
Yeah.
So listen, here's what I and I'm not gonna be long with it, I promise you. What I would say is this: I don't think that the 49ers have faced a defense as good as the Chiefs defense, other than when they played the Ravens. And they lost to the Ravens, right? And they lost to the Ravens at home, right? I will say I don't want to bet against Patrick Mahomes. And even if all things were equal,
Come on.
right? I also don't bet against Andy Reid in the Super Bowl anymore, right? So if I had to give the coaching edge to anybody, it goes to Kansas City. If I give the quarterback edge, it goes to Kansas City, right? If I give, obviously, the overall offense, it goes to San Francisco. But I think the defensive edge I would give to Kansas City. I would give to Kansas City.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The defense?
Because I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to do some things that defense ain't ready for. And I don't think Brock Purdy is ready for what Kansas City and Andy Reid are going to do to him on that side of the ball. So when I say not overall across the season, the edge just for today's game, I give it to Kansas City, right? So I'm going Kansas City, and I'm going to go ahead and say that I think the score is going to be I'm going to say 31-24.
Got you. All right. We'll see. I'm ready.
Something telling me to go with the 49ers because of that defense wins championships. And that D-line they got your boy from Washington. They got Bosa, and they got the D tackle. Lord.
We'll see.
I'm going to stick with my guys.
That only matters if you don't have somebody like Patrick Mahomes running around like go to the garbage can and turn left.
Exactly.
I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm gonna leave it at that. So that's all we have, folks. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for tuning in.
It was a blessing to have you, everybody that watched. Thank you guys. Prayers. And then we'll see.